2, 3, funk it.
My darling, I love you, 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 I love
Okay, well, first, I'm not good at explaining, so yeah. Second, I'm sorry for the background noises, it's my AC. Third, if this is your first eye edit, I recommend getting rid of any hair or anything that will be in the way of your edit. Get rid of pupils, eye highlights, and make the eye color white, so it'll be easier to edit on IBIS Paint. It'll be easier to do line art. Yeah, so here, I'm just doing useless things. I'm choosing a pose. It's so that the eyes kind of fit the pose that you're looking for. Sometimes they'll move in different positions for different poses. So this is the pose I'm going to be using for my mini movie, which is why I used that pose. So then you're just going to take it to IBIS Paint, and you're just going to obviously load in your picture. Now you're going to do a layer over top of your eye layer to do line art. You're going to turn down the opacity on your Gacha layer, and then you're just going to outline the eyelashes. I guess that's what they are. You're just going to outline the eyelashes. Do not outline the iris or the colored part of the eye. Do not outline that. You don't need to. So after that, make sure you fill it in and use a brush to fill in any parts that did not get filled. So that's, that's all for this part. Ooh. So next you're going to add a layer underneath, and you're going to take white, and you're just going to kind of fill in where the white spaces are normally at. I just, fill it. You're going to put a layer in between that, and you're gonna wow, I didn't realize how sped up this was. You're just gonna make circles in the eyes. I kind of went back and forth with this because they kept messing up, so excuse my mess ups in this clip. That's all you're doing. You're just making circles, which is, this tutorial's pretty easy for beginners. So I learned it, and it took me about 5 minutes to get an edit that was decent. Here's me realizing the eyes are wonky, and also don't make the same mistake as me. Don't put the two circles on the same eye because you have to keep moving them around, but it moves the other eye. So I realize that now. And yeah, just make sure you do separate layers, but then you want to merge them together because you want them to both be on the same layer. So here's me struggling some more. Okay, that's where I just had to stop. So you want to add a new layer and clip it. Make sure you set the blending mode to multiply. I didn't do that to the end because I forgot. So then you just want to kind of shade the sides and the top. But then you also want to set another layer, clip it, and yeah, no, this is on the same layer, sorry. Same layer, don't make a new layer, and just make the pupils. They can be any shape you want, they can be wherever you want them to be. I just stick to normal circles most of the time just because it's a quicker edit, and it still looks cute. So I recommend just doing ovals or circles. So, this does take this is a process. Sorry, I stumble over words sometimes. This is a process of filling it in with the airbrush tool. Keep that in mind, but you do want to fill it in with the airbrush tool. It does make a difference. I promise it looks a lot better if you just fill it in with the airbrush tool, because it's not as harsh, and it makes blending easier later. So after that, you want to add another layer underneath that layer and clip it. You can see I switched the blending mode to multiply. For the new layer, you want to set the blending mode to add, and just take your color and add little highlights at the bottom. Pretty easy. The next layer is just shadows. So this is how I do it. It's pretty easy. Just set down... turn down the opacity, and then just erase what's on the outside. So it's pretty easy. I've seen some people do it other ways, but this just works for me. I also blur just because it makes it look more natural, I guess. Next, you're going to add a layer, and you're going to set the layer to add, and you're going to just make little circles. These are highlights, but they're not your main highlights, so don't focus too much on them. Just put little circles or ovals, and then you're just going to turn down the opacity and merge it to your iris layer, the colored part. So then you're just going to make another layer, use white, and make circles on both eyes, like little ovals. They can be wherever you want them to be. They don't have to be where I put them. Just 2 ovals for now. Just do those. Here's me struggling with this one. I actually gave in and used a ruler because I struggled really hard with this eye for some reason. It was really frustrating me. So I just used a ruler. So, after that, fill that in. You're going to take your eraser tool and you're just going to carve out little lines in between like that. Make it look like carve out like a plus sign in them. And then you're going to set the opacity, turn it down as far as you want it. It's to your liking. And then you're just going to make a new layer and put the actual little highlights. You can just do circles and not fill them in. You can fill them in if you like. But it's all up to you, up to what you prefer. So then you're going to set another layer and pull it down over top of the other clip layers and clip it, I guess that's how you would say it. And then just draw lines. Oh, make sure you set the blending mode to add so that it turns out like how I just showed, like glowy kind of. And you can draw little hearts or little circles. I chose little hearts and circles. So yeah, that's really all you need for this. Make sure if you merge them, you do one at a time starting from the bottom, because it will look weird if you don't. So that's it.
About me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world.